Yo,
Yo.
9 a.m., March 23rd. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. We got a lot of stories to follow today. John Morant and Karl-Anthony Town both make their returns from suspension and I guess it would be injury. The Golden State Warriors get a big win with Anthony Lamb looking like the man. I mean, not Anthony Lamb, my apology. Jonathan Kuminga looking like the man. Anthony Lamb just rhymed better, and I think that's why my brain told me to say Anthony Lamb. We'll talk a little bit Jaren Jackson Jr., Memphis Grizzlies. The Los Angeles Lakers get another dub. The Dallas Mavericks are protesting. There's a bunch of headlines to talk about. Did you watch any of last night's basketball? I saw you being super pissed off, not pissed off, texting what was Cuban mad about. We can talk about that in a second. I can explain exactly the play. It was at the 1 minute and 54 second marker in the third quarter when they called the timeout.
Yeah, he just looks like an idiot.
So what ended up happening? So they're paying $10,000 right now to file a motion.
This hasn't happened in like, what is it, 15 years, 13 years?
No.
When Shaq was with Miami was the last time this happened.
What, someone protested?
Yeah.
That
was the last successful one, but
I actually did not know that stat. So the Dallas Mavericks will file a formal protest following 125 loss to the Golden State Warriors. The play in question was an alleged referee mistake that led the Warriors basket late in the third quarter. I think I have a link that we can watch it, but this is what Cuban tweeted after the game. All right. For those wondering about the play, with 1 minute and 54 seconds to go in the third quarter, let me explain what happened. The referee called Mavs ball. The announcer announced it. Then there was a timeout. During the timeout, the official changed the call and never told us. Then when they saw us line up as if it were our ball, he just gave the ball to the Warriors. Never said a word to us. They got an easy basket. Crazy that it would matter in a 2-point game. Worst officiating non-call mistake possibly in the history of the NBA. All they had to do was tell us, and they didn't, end quote, tweeted Mark Cuban after the game. Cuban told The Athletic that the protest will focus on the referee's failure to correct an obvious moment of confusion. The Mavs must pay $10,000 protest fee that will be refunded should it be successful. With the win, the Warriors now own the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Mavericks. Now, let me show you the play in question.
Yeah, because he's wrong. So let's see it. That's not what happened.
One second. All right.
That's why you're an owner, Mark, not a coach or a player.
You probably coach if you wanted to.
No.
Is it
a prime example of why?
Is this sharing? Do you see?
Yep.
All right, this is the play.
Well, that's just the dunk.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be an inbound of the Mavs on the other side of the floor, I believe. Even Ty Jerome is like, what? Look at Ty Jerome right here. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so to me, this is just the dunk. This isn't what caused it. So to me, what happened is, I believe they called it Maverick ball. I believe the ref called it Maverick ball real quick. And then he immediately changes it to Golden State. I forget why, but charged timeout was given to the Dallas Mavericks. I can't remember exactly why, but raises his hand, points to the timeout, Dallas Mavericks. So Mark's sitting there thinking, oh, that means it's our ball. No, they just got charged with timeout. Raise a hand, point to who called the timeout. It was Dallas. So I get Mark's philosophy as far as the referees, because that's just like it's not professional. And that's like the whole trend of the refs this year for some reason, especially as of late, since the All-Star break, have been a little bit ridiculous.
So they just demoted that guy the other day.
Ben Taylor?
Yeah, Ben Taylor got demoted, right? Literally like a day ago, they demoted him for being such a shitty ref.
Yeah, the refs are shit in the bed right now, but like, this is what happens when there's people out there, and it was just a bad miscommunication from the referee, but it was never It was supposed to be Golden State Warrior ball. You can tell, like, even the Warriors guys are a little bit confused, but no, it was Warrior ball and a forced timeout from Dallas. So that's with the hand motion. So that's what I was saying in the group chat. Like, I don't know what the hell Mark Cuban's really talking about, unless it's just to get something from the refs. Like I said, I think the last time this happened was Shaq, and I believe they had to replay the last 90 seconds of the game. I think this was like 2006, something like that. You don't see this very often.
I'm pretty sure someone just nicely. Someone nicely commented on a tweet I put out, and like to defend me, but like they backhanded because the guy goes, "You don't go much, I assume," and the person responding for me goes, "You know he doesn't." When it's time, what? Well, I was like, but I don't know if that's referring to me not going out, or like the tweet that I was talking that the Washington Wizards provide a top 15 city.
Oh, I saw that. I don't know. I have a love-hate with DC. There's good areas. I don't think it's a top 15 city.
Sixth most visited city in the world.
Well, yeah, it's the nation's capital.
It's actually really nice, and he actually has came out and said he's like his family has said they really like how he can be in Michigan within less than 3 hours. He can be in Miami within less than 3 hours. He can be in New York within less than 3 hours. He can be in London less than 5. Same thing with Paris. He just he came out yesterday professing how much he loves how central he lives. Like he says he's never experienced the ability of, everywhere he goes is like the same amount of time. It's easy for him to travel, easy for his family to visit, and that like the area he lives in. Plus, you have to think about it, a very big Black community in DC. So probably a very comforting area. And people don't realize if you're rich in DC, you're living real nice.
Oh yeah. But where else you can live real nice in the middle of everything you want to visit? New York City, aka the New York Knicks.
Yeah, but that's too loud of a life, and he wouldn't get the touches. He would be the 4th star. Here he's a co-star, and
yeah, you've been using this argument for half the season. I don't think it stands. I get
every
your
day
logic,
day that passes, he's re-signing.
Let's put a bet on it.
I will bet you $150 right now that
Kyle Kuzma. Okay. What we can do though is we can pull a Skip and Shannon, and I'll bet you a case
TikTok's
of Red
going
Bulls
to Congress
that Kyle Kuzma will not be a Wizard next season. Case of Reddies.
I'm more willing. I personally think both Kuzma and Porzingis are going to be Wizards next year, but I'm willing to bet 150 that Kuzma stays over Kristaps. But yeah, no, I expect both of them to stay because no other team gives them as many touches. No other team gives them as an opportunity to live where they live. No other team gets them to be a franchised player / marketing. They're not going to go to the West because if they want to be all-stars, they're not going to be Western Conference all-stars.
Their marketing is doing such a good job. I see so much about Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma and the Washington Wizards in general.
Well, you don't live in the Delmarva, but when I'm home and I'm watching Delmarva TV, I'm getting the Delmarva advertisements. You got Kyle Kuzma. I haven't really seen Kristaps Porzingis, and I think that's just
he's a future Bull.
No, Kristaps Porzingis is just a really private person, and he talks about how much. No, and the other reason I don't believe he's leaving is he's talked so much about this past season, Kristaps Porzingis, about how he regrets how the whole Knicks situation went down, and how he just at this point he really liked DC. And he's learned that he'd rather be somewhere where he's wanted instead of forcing his hand because he regrets how everything went down with the Knicks. So that's where I sit here and I'm just like, maybe.
Yeah, I've been hearing this for half a year. I still stand by neither will be a Wizard. I hope they're both. I'd like to see. I'm open to whatever.
Well, to wrap up this unexpected Wizards talk, I think what was interesting yesterday, I watched the video from Spencer Dinwiddie talking about it. So he came here. He said it was so confusing in DC that there was 20 different things going on. And it was weird because, like, Spencer Dinwiddie wanted to basically defend himself that, hey, like, I wasn't a locker room cancer that people made me out to be. What was going on was Denny Avdia was supposed to be Luka Doncic, is what he said. He, like, said that, like, a couple times, which makes, like, maybe people are pissed that Denny isn't as good potentially as he was assumed to be. The other thing is that he said there was like almost like 3 or 4 different timelines going on, and there was like no clear direction in DC.
Yeah, welcome to the Wizards, baby.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this real quick before we change subjects and talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. Everyone wants to assume in sports your owner is trying to win the championship every season. But in reality, about half of the owners in every sports league don't care to win. They just care to break even or make a profit. I'm not even kidding. Like, or, may just make the playoffs. You see this in the NFL all the time. There are teams actually out there not trying to win. They're trying to win the regular season games. Playoffs is not important anymore. They just want to be in the mix, but they don't care about really executing.
Yeah. That's why you got guys like the new Suns owner who you can just tell, and it's not really a question. I'm thinking about my Chicago. They're not my Chicago Bears, but I'm thinking about the Chicago Bears, first team that comes to mind that really couldn't, or at least it seemed for my whole lifetime that they don't really care about it that much.
Well, you guys drafted your first black quarterback, and
so they did. But yeah, exactly. It's
you're from fucking Chicago, and you're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
You probably like people from Iowa too.
I've never been to Iowa. I've been to like Iowa once. It seems a little boring, but I'm sure there's some great people in Iowa.
I bet you there's some great people. They're all right. They're not my cup of tea, but
Midwest is the best region for people. The Great Lakes area.
I agree with that. Midwest is a nice place, but not the Great Lakes. Fuck the Great Lakes, bro. But let's talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. He came out, hit the game-winning free throws, 22 points. Karl-Anthony Towns is back. How much did you watch this game? Do you buy stocks? I know this isn't – we're not going to sit here and be like, yep, Karl-Anthony Towns is going to help us win a championship this season now. No, but I think it's good that he's out there.
Yeah, man, I tried to say this for weeks and weeks. He's a big deal. They're missing like 22, 10, and 5 at least. That's a bad night for Cat. So when you're without your best player, your team's not going to be as good. Now Anthony Edwards is ascending into the Timberwolves' best player, but
he has ascended.
Minnesota's a great team. McDaniels, they have a real stud in McDaniels, and I think they realize that.
They do. They do. Kyle Anderson played so much last night. I know it was because of injury, but
Slow-Mo's a sleeper. He's somebody you want on your team. Memphis definitely misses him.
Oh my God,
and,
yeah.
Now that they're healthy, I mean, Cat came out threes galore. He was getting aggressive. He was playing very.
Karl-Anthony Towns started the game, which I was shocked because we talked about yesterday on the show that I personally thought Karl-Anthony Towns would not start the first 2-3 games. They would do the Steph Curry off the bench. But now they threw him out there. I mean, it seems like he was on minute restriction. 26 minutes he only played.
Yeah. So it's an interesting team. They had a nice little fourth quarter comeback-ish. Hasbreed had a phenomenal game again. They're going to miss him when he's gone. But they've got an interesting team. I don't really know any gauge in the West, but they won. Dallas lost. So Minnesota is now the 7th seed and technically just a game behind Golden State. We'll see what happens, how the season ends, but getting Cat back it's a big deal. It's like when LeBron will be back.
What do you think at this point the expectations for the team is?
I would love for them to. I think a second round playoff appearance would be huge for them. I think it wouldn't be at the time they won't be that pleased if they can make a first round competitive. Obviously, you got to get out of the play-in if you're in it, but if they could make a competitive first round, especially depending on who they play, but
if it goes to like 7 games, I agree.
Yeah, it's tough when Cat misses. What do you miss? Like 120 days or miss like 4 months. So when you're now second best player, arguably your best player, depending on who you ask, misses, 50 games in your season, you kind of got to adjust your expectations a little bit or a lot of bit.
Yeah, I think the expectations, like if they lose a tightly contested 6 or 7 game series in the first round, I don't think anyone's complaining. But if they get swept and Rudy and Carl both look terrible or something, then that'll be bad. But yeah, no, I agree. The guy missed 52 games. He looked good for someone who missed 52 games and basically tore his calf and was trying to avoid being like Kevin Durant. End quote.
KD, top 5. He doesn't want to be a top 5 player in the NBA. Hell yeah.
All right, shut the fuck up.
Is KD not a top 5 player in the NBA?
We're talking about the popped Achilles, not the fact that. But Ja Morant returned last night in a win. Also, when did they start allowing the black face masks? I thought they weren't allowed to wear black face masks because you remember when LeBron wore one in the NBA Finals and then they banned it?
They banned that. Wow. Is that 2012?
Yeah, my boy works for like the Cowboys payroll, and he was telling me the other night without names because he can't tell me names, but like all the fines he's like the guy who fines people and like gets some tickets.
Oh, fucker! What a fucker!
Well, that's just his job.
It's a tough job.
Yeah. So or like he basically he like handles the players' paychecks, or if they somebody contacts them for child support, he has to like take out the child support.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but he said before the Green Bay Packers game, a couple players got charged for smoking in their rooms, and I was like, smoking what?
Black and milds, bro. Swishers.
But every time they do a jersey swap, he has to fine the players because the jersey.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, the players don't own the jerseys or any of the equipment they're wearing. So if they keep anything or swap a jersey, he has to fine them. So I wonder if there's a guy like that for the Grizzlies. Like if like the blackface masks are still banned, if they have to like, here you go, Ja, here's $10,000 out the paycheck, or if like whenever they do jersey swaps.
I feel like I've seen a couple black face masks this year.
I have because I was watching another game and there was another guy wearing a black face mask. It might have been also in the Grizzlies game on the Rockets. Somebody was wearing a black face mask, but I've seen multiple black face masks this past season. I mean, Jaylen Brown's wearing a black face mask.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the one. I wonder if that's still
search up. Are black face masks still banned by the NBA? I am curious. Because I remember LeBron wore it with the Miami Heat, you remember? And then they made him take it off like midway through the game, or they didn't let him wear it the next game because everyone was talking.
It is prohibited because of transparency, I guess. And several players have been fined for wearing masks during play this season.
Okay, so they are being fined for wearing black. It's just they're like, fuck it.
Oh, Joel. Wait, but now this one's saying the NBA doesn't have a rule against black masks. They just prefer players wear clear ones and sometimes have asked players to comply. Kyrie, Joel.
What?
Okay, so I guess it's not there is no rule against wearing black masks. Okay.
Then why was LeBron not? They just made him comply?
I don't know. This article is from 2014, so maybe back in 2014.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they actually ended up doing that.
I just remember it was a big deal when LeBron wore it, and they made him take it off.
Oh yeah, in 2021, the NBA chose to ban players from wearing black masks. So yeah, it doesn't seem like that's still a thing anymore.
Dude, Jared Jackson, I know it was Ja Morant's return, but Jared Jackson Jr. last night.
Yeah, he's their number 2 option.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Jackson Jr. for like the last 2 or 3 years, everyone was like, where was sophomore season Jared Jackson Jr.? Well, sophomore season Jared Jackson Jr. has returned. Also, shout out triple-double Kevin Porter Jr.
KPJ pissed off a lot of Rocket fans last night.
Why?
Because he is immature and just like ruins possessions when he doesn't get what he wants. So he's not helping his stock right now.
All right. Ja Morant, 17 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds off the bench. They started Tyus Jones. I know like they have to arguably get Ja back into playing shape, which is part of the reason why he came off the bench. But having Ja back is huge, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. They climbed like 2.5 games. They went like what 5-2 without Ja.
Yeah,
with Tyus, and they climbed 2.5 games on the Nuggets. It is looking more and more so like the Memphis Grizzlies. By the time the season ends, I wouldn't be surprised if they were the team to beat.
David Roddy's insane for them.
They're all their bench role players are pretty.
Yeah, John Conchar,
Lofton,
John Conchar's defense. Yeah, Kenny Lofton, but I think Kenny is a two-way player, so we won't see him in the postseason.
That sucks because he's with his body type, he's fascinating.
You know who he looks like? Robert De Niro in Shark Tales.
So the shark?
This is what Kenny Lofton.
Oh wow, yes, actually the shark.
Doesn't Kenny Lofton look like that?
Shark Tale offensive to Italian Americans. Oh my goodness.
Look at this. Tell me this isn't Kenny Lofton.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even mean that to be like a fat joke or anything, but that Kenny Lofton looks like the shark from
Shark.
He's
fat, so
I think and like by choice.
Yeah, he's 272. That's a big boy.
Yeah, like 6'5".
6'7", probably
6'7".
not 6'7".
Yeah, he's probably closer
6'6".
to 6'5". Yeah, 6'6" than 6'7". Yeah.
He's a guy at the rec you don't want to guard, and he's probably like really sweaty too.
Yeah, my type of guy. I also forgot that he went to Louisiana Tech.
LT,
yeah. But
cool logo.
They do have a cool logo. I do think it's good that we saw Ja Morant and Karl-Anthony Towns. I think, again, I'm agreeing with you. I think the team right now, maybe the beat is...
They're at least in that combo.
I mean, especially if Steven Adams comes healthy, they just have so many lineups. They just have too many lineups to match up against.
They need Steven Adams to come back because you do still have to have that concern of Triple J at the 5 in a playoff series.
Yeah, but you think maybe the combination of Santi Aldama, Xavier Tillman, and like David Roddy can alleviate that? Because we know Steven Adams in certain playoff series is unplayable.
Yeah, but unplayable is more, he's still going to play 20. So, yeah, you can.
I mean, yeah, his play is circumstantial.
Xavier, but I mean, there's just going to be teams who are going to abuse it, like Sabonis and Jokic. Having Jaren on at the center. I mean, that's something that you're going to try to expose as a weakness for him, or at least put him in a position where that becomes more prevalent.
Can we talk about a player who kind of like regressed this season and we thought he was going to take the jump for them?
Desmond Bain?
No.
Thank goodness.
No. Somewhat rotational player.
Is it a Grizzly?
Yeah, Grizzly player, rotation player, second-year player. Zaire. He just appeared. I know he's had injury problems this year, but I think we all thought Zaire would become like a 20-25 minute guy, like kind of like a glue wing, but I know injuries, but yeah, for being the 10th pick, and I know injuries, but like all the stats are down across the board.
Yeah, the Grizzlies also they always have a deep rotation, even if it's not guys you like necessarily know, like David Roddy or Laravia or now Lofton. Like it's just.
But I was just saying that, like, yeah, the rookies are playing more than Zaire.
If you're not ready to come in and help contribute to some wins, Taylor's not going to be afraid to do what he's got to do.
I agree with that. You know, he's a guy who's taking advantage.
Jonathan Kuminga.
Big game from him last night. And we talked about it. If Andrew Wiggins and Gary Payton II are healthy, this team has an 11-man rotation. And Kuminga's a huge part of that because he can play power forward and small forward. And he's strong. You know, him and Lamb give them a lot of versatility on the wing and small ball lineups. So how big of a performance do you think last night was for Kuminga, and I guess you could say for the Grizzlies, to see that Kuminga can put on these 22-point performances, 9 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 steals, 3 rebounds, and assists in 30 minutes. And this is like a 4-game stretch where he's been playing like 26 minutes at least and scoring double digits.
Yeah, ever since he's came back, he's been critical for him. I mean, I love Dante, but, you know, Dante, they tried to fill in the Wiggins role with Dante for a while because Kuminga was out as well.
And he had good minutes. But, you know, they're asking.
Well, Dante's still solid. It's just, you know, not.
That's not his role.
It's not. He's not Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga's a great basketball player, and he's going to contribute with or without Andrew Wiggins on the Warriors. Golden State Road Warriors are the best road team in NBA in the last 48 hours. So shout out to them. And Kuminga's a big reason for it. Draymond Green had a great game last night, especially on the defensive side. Kuminga's the potential is just so high. I mean, that's why he was taken so high. And I think Kuminga's a player where you look at him in like a couple of years, if he's still with Golden State, and you're like, how the hell did Golden State get this guy as well? But on a night where Steph's shot wasn't falling, so he was more setting players up. Clay's shot wasn't falling. Jonathan Kuminga stepped up in a big way on the road. And yeah, man, Golden State stays onto that 6th seed, the best road team in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I think I looked at this team, and if you look at it again, Gary Payton II and Wiggins, the lineup would be Wiggins, Thompson, Curry, Looney, and Green. Then off the bench, now you got Poole, Gary Payton II, Kuminga, DiVincenzo, JaMychal Green, Anthony Lamb. That team right there, in my opinion, I know the weakest position you could say right there is either the backup point guard spot or the backup center spot, but either way,
they'll be fine. They did it last year.
I was about to say that they did it last year. So
is Anthony Lamb, did they guarantee his contract?
Yeah, they converted him last week. They converted him to a standard NBA contract last week. That's when they signed Lester Quinwans for his two-way, to replace him as a two-way. And I do think we talked about it, that we said that, like, for the East, was it the Cavaliers and the Knicks as the two teams that could shock people and go on a run in the East? And I
don't think it's going to be the Knicks. I really don't. I think the Heat have a better shot than the Knicks.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's give the East 3 teams: the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavs, as 3 teams that we could see in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the Warriors joined the Kings, and we had one other Western Conference team I felt like that we said could go on.
Well, I got the Lakers.
Lakers.
LeBron are healthy.
Yeah, Lakers. Let's do that. Lakers, Warriors, and Kings. Or 3 teams that you could see. And I know the Kings aren't surprising because they're like the seeding, but like people are still doubting them. But 3 teams that could.
All those teams, really. Golden State, defending champs, Lakers.
Yeah. Like all 3 of those teams are teams that if they get, a favorable matchups in the first 2 rounds, though either of those 3 teams, Warriors in this topic, I would not be surprised come May, where like Warriors versus Grizzlies or Warriors versus Nuggets or something.
It's just the trend right now with the West. I could like even see OKC in the Western Conference Finals. Like,
Oh my God.
Who knows what's going to happen?
I think I have said this before, and I will continue. I think I said this 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. I think this year's NBA champion is coming out the East. Personally, I just think the top 3 East teams are a lot top heavier than the top West teams. But I think the Warriors are a team that can match up against Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Bucks, Joel Embiid in the 76ers, Jason Tatum in the Boston Celtics. I think the Warriors are I think the only other team besides the Warriors or maybe the Memphis Grizzlies that are well equipped to defensively match up against an Eastern Conference team in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I mean, East, barring something happening, is probably going to win it. Denver would be the 4 seed if they were in the East. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because for last 25 years, it's been the West. That like you'd be like the best team in the East would be the 4th seed in the West. It was always that the West was so much better than the East.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Let's pivot right here. Let's talk about a guy though. Lauri Markkanen. What a freaking game from this guy. You watched the Jazz game?
Oh yeah.
Chris Dunn, shout out. Can we give a Chris Dunn shout out? I mean, they lost that game, and we'll talk about Shaedon Sharpe, who was an absolute dog. Because I watched this game to watch the Utah Jazz, but then it just turned into me watching Shaedon Sharpe. Because I didn't watch it live, I watched the post, but goddamn. Lauri Markkanen, I mean, he's the franchise cornerstone. Also, if I had a vote, he would be my most improved player. I think he's what the most improved player of the year is. Yeah. I understand that Shea went from being like an all NBA player to an MVP. But
I just don't feel like that's obviously it's impressive. I'm not trying to say it's not impressive, but I think Lauri's is a lot more impressive.
Is it Lauri or Lauri? It's Lauri. I thought it was like Lauri, like Kyle Lowry, even though it's spelled like Lauri. It's pronounced because he's a dude and he's like foreign. It's like Lowry. I just want the only reason I asked you is I heard someone on ESPN kept saying Lauri, and I was just like, dude, I'm like 99% sure you're wrong. But yeah, no, Lowry, what he's done, like he became a good rebounder.
Well, yeah, I think he always has been.
I mean, last 3 seasons he's averaged 5 boards a game. This year he went back to that 9 rebound he had.
3. That's what I'm thinking. Lauri has always been a good rebounder because of his tenure with the Bulls, where he was 19-9.
Yeah, 19-9. Well, we hadn't seen that, and even then, that was just a flash in the pan. 52 games. The other thing is he's been pretty freaking healthy this year. Lowry's a guy who's never broken 70 games, and I think this year he's on pace to play over 70 games while shooting 50-40 from the field. 50 from the field, 40 from 3.
Jeez. He's a dog. Is it enough, though?
Yeah, I just think he's way more aggressive because, the thing is people don't realize is that Lauri was a guy that played, far away from the basket. And now, he's near the basket. I also forgot that Lauri Markkanen's brother is a 6'5" soccer player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's almost 6'6".
Watch out for this team next year. I was looking at the schedule last night. I don't think that the Jazz make the playoffs anymore. They're not in it as it stands right now, but obviously now that changes every day at this point. They play the Lakers twice, and unless Sexton comes back tomorrow and is impacting wins right out of the gate, that's perfectly fine. Maybe that's even better for Utah, but it's good experience nonetheless. And who knows, maybe Lauri can propel them to a win. I know what were they on, a 3-game winning streak before this loss? So anytime you count out the Jazz, it's here's 3 straight wins. I think the playoffs are pretty set unless if there's going to be a team that can make a run, I think it would be the Pelicans. So,
wow, the Pelicans.
Well, the Lakers, I don't know. I think they have a pretty favorable schedule with their competition. Like tomorrow night's game against the Thunder is so huge. If the Lakers lose that game tomorrow, yes, Jazz Pellies can sneak in. But I think if they win it, I think it's over. Except for maybe the Pelicans if they can go on a run and catch a team like Dallas.
Well, I want to talk about Lauri Markkanen for a second. How do you build upon this season if you're Lauri going into next year?
Keep getting better.
It is Lauri the number one option on a championship team?
No.
Is he the
probably
2?
Not.
Or the 3?
It's too small of a sample size. If I was an NBA GM, you probably take a gamble on him.
As a 2?
The Jazz will probably have to have him be the number one option regardless if they want to or not next year. I don't know who else it would be.
Unless they got like Mikal Bridges somehow.
Yeah. So I actually I think Lauri is more of a I think they're going like a co-star though.
Also, I think they're going to get more players to fit Lauri. No offense to Colin Sexton, but I don't think Colin Sexton's going to be on this team next year.
Wow.
No. I think a few of the guys that got big contracts aren't going to be. They're going to keep wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, I think Sexton's a dog. That's what sucks about the Sexton injury is when he finally got the keys to the team and he finally got the keys to a team because he hasn't had the keys to a team since DG came in town. I think he was doing. I don't have his stats next to me, but he was.
Yeah, I'm about to pull him up.
Getting assists. He was doing really freaking good for like
as a starter.
Yeah,
as a starter for the Utah Jazz this season, 15 games. Colin Sexton has shot 11 field goals per game in those 15 games, shooting 53.7% from the field. 3 of those 11 field goals were 3-point shots that he hit at 37.5. Got to the free throw line 5 times, hit 82% from the free throw line. 2.5 rebounds, 5 assists, a little under a steal game while averaging 16.5 points in 28.9 minutes in 15 games as a starter. So, like you said, he was playing well, and we haven't seen him since February.
Because way longer than I anticipated.
What was the exact injury they said it was?
I can't remember, but they were going like week to week with
hamstring. Hamstring is a hamstring. That's why it's a hamstring. He got screwed.
He had been week to week. I don't know what the report was this week, but
last week they said on March 16th, at least another week. So we probably will hear a report today because that was a week ago today. So yeah, no, damn. Nothing against Colin Sexton. Maybe they do keep him. I think
you keep him, and like you said, Mikal. I mean, imagine Sexton, Lauri, and Mikal. That's a lot of buckets.
I just think I know they really like Jordan Clarkson, but I know he's going into free agency. Kelly O has another year on his deal. I think so does Talen Horn-Tucker. I know they love Walker Kessler and Ochai. Simone has been cooking lately, but he could also be someone that a contending team calls up and be like, we really would like him off the bench, especially with that contract. And I think Rudy Gay probably retires or tries to find a contending team. I just think this roster is definitely going to look a little different than what we've seen this season. I think that they're going to move some players around and try to get more defenders, like two-way guys.
I wouldn't even be shocked if they made a big draft night move.
No, I agree. Also, Leandro Balmaro is back in Spain playing basketball, and he's played so far 4 games. And it's all right. Keeping tabs on my boy Leandro. Hopefully he comes back to the NBA. Never got a fair shot. The Jazz didn't even play him. That's how sad it was.
It's tough.
All right, let's talk about these Los Angeles Lakers. And this is a team that some might say has been playing some basketball. some real good basketball. I'm talking about inspired basketball, the type of basketball that's been the best defensive team since February 11th, the NBA trade deadline. Did you know that this team is the best defense in the league? All right, and the Los Angeles Lakers, as of right now, do you want to know what their standing is?
No.
They're the 10th in the Western Conference, tied for 9th with the Dallas Mavericks, half game behind the 8th seed and the 7th seed, aka the Timberwolves and Thunder. They're actually 1.5 games behind the Warriors for the 6th seed. 6-4 in their last 10. Jesus Christ. But goddamn, like you said, this Los Angeles Lakers, if they get a playoff spot, especially if they can avoid the play-in, which, like, what they have right here, 36 plus 37, 73 games, 9 games left in the season. If they finish 7-2, that brings them to 43-39.
That probably beats the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers are imploding. The Warriors are 4-6. So are the Mavs in their last 10. I want the Lakers in there, and I'm not even a Lakers fan. Like, obviously, I am a LeBron fan. I'll admit that. I'm not one of those people who will be like scared to say that. No, but what do you think's the most favorable? Okay, we'll do two things. Play in, huh?
And the
Being
one
home?
team I wouldn't want to play in the play-in is the Golden State Warriors. That's the only team I
or the Thunder.
Don't want to play. I will take the Thunder any day of the week.
What about the Mavs?
Any day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Warriors are the one team you want to avoid in the play-in. I agree
Which they
with
should
that.
be fine with. Yeah. I don't think the Warriors will fall to it. My point is not so much Dallas, Luka, Kyrie. Obviously, you don't want to play them. Any team doesn't ideally want to play them.
Hold up. Would you rather be the 6th seed facing the Sacramento Kings in the first round, or would you rather be a play-in team for the 7th or 8th seed and you play either the Denver Nuggets or the Memphis Grizzlies?
What do you think?
The Sacramento
Give me
Kings.
Sabonis. Give me that barbecue chicken.
Right.
The best offensive team versus the best defensive team in the last several months. I will take that any day. I love my Kings. I have them. I got some money on them, but it would be barbecue chicken for Anthony Davis and all of these Laker guys if they played Sacramento in the first round of the playoffs. That's like exactly who Sacramento doesn't want to play, I would imagine. They will.
So the goal is to be the 6th seed at this point. They're shooting for the 6th seed.
Oh, yeah, but, it's not of utmost I think if it was that dire, LeBron would be playing right now. The thing is, like, Memphis is a young, hungry team. I'm not afraid of Memphis. Denver, interesting team. I'm certainly not afraid of Denver. So I think the Lakers are just kind of, they're chilling. Let's just win. Let's take it one game at a time. Let's, put all effort in. So that no matter who we play, whether it's Denver, Sacramento, et cetera, no matter what seed we are playing or not, we're ready to go. We're firing on all cylinders. This is exactly what they're doing. Welcome back, D'Lo. He had a good shooting night last night. Austin Reeves, I don't know if he will be a starter when LeBron comes back in the playoff rotation.
He's been a fucking dog.
But I find it so funny how so many people are ragging on Austin Reeves, saying, "Oh, if he wasn't on the Lakers, nobody would be talking about him." Oh, you're wrong. Austin Reeves is that dude, and he has been playing great for like 6 straight weeks ever since he came back from injury. He's so important to this team. He's a top 5 rotational player for him. And, yeah, man, this Lakers team, they're deep now, even with the Bamba loss, which sucked. But their guard play's been on fire. I love Schroeder off the bench. AD, when he's doing AD things, is a beast, and LeBron's not even on this team. So their final 9 games, you have OKC on Friday, you have the Utah Jazz twice, you have the Timberwolves, you have the Clippers, you have the Suns, you have the Rockets, and you have the Bulls twice.
All right, so you
they
have
can go 7-2.
There you go, 7-2. I think tomorrow's a big game. The Bulls games are big games. The Rockets.
I think the Rockets will beat them. There's no logic behind it. The game where Jalen will drop 40. KPJ will have 29. Şengün will have a 24, 11, and 7 night, and they'll just beat them. That's a Rocket thing to do.
The best part about this is there's no back-to-backs.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's all they all get a day break at least between the games.
AD needs it. Watch out for them Lakers,
actually,
man.
I lied. There's one back-to-back, Jazz versus Clippers. So watch out for that Clippers game. It might be the game that is a guaranteed loss right here again on April 5th.
That's done for the year.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, you know what? I take that back.
You never know, though. You never know.
I mean, hopefully April 7th we see LeBron come back. That's hopefully the target.
So long from now. Feels like an eternity.
It does. It does feel like an eternity. But you know who had a great game last night? And I said maybe you trade him yesterday, but now I don't think you should ever think about trading him unless you get yourself Kevin Durant, and that's Shaedon Sharpe. He had a performance last night. He came in starting duty. 40 minutes as a 19-year-old he played. 9 of 19 from the field. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Shaedon Sharpe, man. Shaedon Sharpe. It's unreal.
I mean, last night was a good game. I wouldn't call his rookie season unreal, though.
Wow.
It's not. It hasn't been. I mean,
he's on a team that's trying to win.
Wow, Andrew Nembhard has better rookie of the year odds than he does. I don't even see his name on this list.
All right. Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm keeping it a buck, and I know for a fact Blazer fans will agree with me. You have a really enticing piece. If you trade away Damian Lillard, Shaedon Sharpe is the guy you roll with in your future.
Yes, I agree with that.
Shaedon isn't ready yet to come in and play winning basketball in the starting rotation. Now, maybe next year that's a different story. I'm just saying, Shaedon will have these games because of opportunity. And when Shaedon is coming off the bench, he has his moments, especially with the dunks. But, I can name 10 other rookies who have his stat line on a nightly basis. Tari Eason has his stat line on a nightly basis. When Tari Eason drops 24 and 10, nobody talks about him. So I love Shaedon, but if you're being real, if you're the Blazers, he's not untouchable. If you're trying to retain Damian Lillard, it's just that they're in a tough pickle. They're in a really tough pickle. But they got to prioritize defense no matter what in the offseason. So I hope Shaedon.
Well, we talked about that they have to start making moves by draft night to entice Damian Lillard that, going into free agency, they're going to do a big swing. But let's say they don't and Dame just requests a trade. I think as a Blazer fan, that's not a doomsday scenario because you have this guy.
It's just so shitty.
It is shitty.
But it's so shitty.
It'd be shitty, but it's not like Kevin Durant leaving and Kyrie leaving, and now there's no young guy besides Cam Thomas, which ideally is not the guy that you want to, and not the guy that you want to build around. So with Shaedon Sharpe, you have a bona fide guy who potentially could be a superstar.
Here's the word that you're looking for. If Dame requests a trade, there's a silver lining, and his name is Shaedon Sharpe.
Yeah, I agree. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, that. If Dame requests a trade and if they do blow it up this offseason, the silver lining is you already have a guy to build around that with whatever top 10 pick they'll have in this year's draft, they can draft his co-star potentially. Because now you imagine, if they end up with top 5 pick or a top 10 pick, maybe they draft Anthony Black and it's Shaedon Sharpe and Anthony Black or Shaedon Sharpe and Jarace Walker.
Yeah.
And right there, I'd watch that Trailblazers team.
I can't believe they won that game last night. There was a lineup that the Blazers deployed. It was
Trendon Watford
was Yeah, Watford he's a really interesting piece.
Ryan Arcidiacono.
Yeah, it was Ryan Arcidiacono.
Ryan Arcidiacono.
It was Kevin Knox, John Butler, who was a starter at Florida State in the Patrick William era.
I didn't even know Ryan Arcidiacono was on this team.
Yeah, exactly. It was like him, Knox, Butler, Watford might have been out there, and Cam Red or Eubanks. It was just it's what the hell? And I'm on Blazer Twitter because I love Blazer Uprising. Shout out to Tori and Eric. And I saw so many tweets like, what the fuck is this? Like, oh, yeah, I was watching the game and I see this rotation. It's like, who the fuck is John Butler?
I also did not know Ryan Arsenio played 4 years for the Bulls, and he
Yes,
started.
sir.
And I didn't know he started as a Spurs. And he also,
really?
and
He was on
yeah,
the Spurs?
he was on a Spurs his first season. Also,
No shit.
he represents Italy for basketball.
Does he really? Wow.
Yeah.
The more you know. Shout out for him for staying in the league.
Oh,
he's
wait.
he's a hardcore hustle player.
No, never mind. In 2015, he was selected to play for the Italian experimental national team in friendly tournaments. However, he's unable to represent Italy in official competition as his claim to Italian citizenship is by Jus Sanguinis, which is he acquired it by the nationality or ethnicity of one of his parents, which basically means that so because somebody in his ancestry had renounced their citizenship.
Oh, come on.
Which
come on.
That right now, I would be fucked with that
shit.
because my dad actually has to move to Italy for a year because they're trying to denaturalize. They're trying to argue that his citizenship has been denaturalized. My dad's like, how about fuck no? So my dad's about to retire and spend his first year in retirement living in Italy.
Retirement living?
No, like my dad's about to retire. And he's gonna spend his first year in retirement living in Italy.
So he's going to like a
because if they denaturalize my dad's citizenship, that puts my citizenship and my sibling's citizenship in jeopardy.
Yeah,
because my citizenship is through my father's citizenship, and
I think that might be the same thing with my mom.
Is your mom a dual citizen?
No, so maybe not.
Where's your mom from?
Maybe my grandma might have actually ended that.
Where's your
grandma's dad is from Italy.
So your great grandfather?
Yeah, my great grandfather.
Well, I mean, you technically could through that lineage. You could because it's through your mother. I mean, it doesn't matter, but you could. It all comes down to if your grandfather. I mean, your grandfather. You should have to find like document. You'd have to contact your consulate. You could easily become an Italian citizen.
You had to go home. Cook the pizza.
Cook the pizza. I want some linguini. Alrighty, you know what time it is? Let's cue that music. I also want to say my personal channel fucking dead right now. Like no one's watching NBA.
NBA is dead, man. The future is football.
No, but it's not dead. But like right now, I've never had this happen in March where it's so dead. NBA.
Yeah, it's like no one gives a shit. It's crazy. This time last year, my channel was demonetized, and I was streaming every single Raptors game. I streamed and watched 2.5 hours of every night the Toronto.
Well, for me, it was like last year. I had all this draft content, and I have like the same amount as I did last year, and all the draft videos were popping off. It's just like no one's searching up, and I'm even looking on Google Trends compared to last year. It's like almost 50% way down Google searches for NBA compared to last March.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
The only storylines going on right now are the Western Conference play-in, which I guess most like casual fans aren't going to give a shit, really.
Yeah, well, I'm still like following what's trending on Google and stuff, and even then, it's just like click-through rate and all that stuff is down, and I'm just like curious. I'm just like.
Stop following trends. Set your own trends.
I have my own trends, but when the views are down, the trends are usually the thing to help. All right, who is this? Was it?
That looks like Shabazz Napier.
Landry Shamet?
The sniper?
He is in the Pacific. Oh,
no.
I was about to say Luke Kennard, but he's not on the Clippers anymore.
He doesn't have that hair. Grizzlies aren't in the Pacific. Oh, you're saying the Clippers? Yeah.
So it's either a Laker, a Warrior, or a King.
Let's go Harrison Barnes. Oh, he's a center. It's a King. What the fuck? Why is that forward center thing yellowed for Kevin Herter?
It was yellow because guard was also
because of the forward.
Because he's a guard forward.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he did Harrison Barnes, I knew it was Kevin Herter.
Dang.
I know.
It's a nap day for late night college basketball.
Yeah, it is late night college basketball tonight. I got a fucking. Actually, the computer cases for the 3 PCs I'm building got delivered yesterday. Right. So I got to grab those. I'm actually stoked. I'm about to buy 6 monitors too.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
6?
Yeah. So each computer has 2 monitors.
Nice. I always wanted a dual mon.
I have a dual mon. That's why half the time you see.
I know you got a dual mon. I know you got a sweet setup.
But yeah, no. The plan is when we're at CU, we'll have every computer will have dual monitor.
Dual monitors.
Yeah, I'm actually really stoked for these computers.
Watch 2 games at once.
Yeah, well,
6 games at once.
The hope is we can find a bunch of like TVs like on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh yeah, the TV markets.
And then we set up like 4 TVs on the wall.
Nice.
And then you can have on the wall, because the way I want to set it up. I mean, we've shown the layout, but it's there. Also, the YouTube Reels doing real well.
I disagree. YouTube Reels frustrate me greatly, but we'll see. I don't know what 1,000 views do me if it's not getting me subscribers.
We're 2 days in, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, it just seems like fake
noise to me. 704 videos. Did not know we've posted that much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But, well, we're 2 days in. I'm just saying, watch us. Have you watched the Broadcast Boys?
No.
All they do is, like, they barely they barely get views on their fucking regular shit, but their whole channel is just shorts. And they build.
Yeah, I just don't know what shorts do.
They bring you to your main. They subscribe.
Clearly not.
We're 2 days in.
Then it's not even helping them.
It is though. This is how they got
views. My Rockets channel get more views than their normal videos, and they have 750K. I think it messes with click-through rate.
I feel like, again, we're testing it out. It's a matter of time. Good morning, Rocket News.
It's just like if we had, imagine a reel pops off 4 million views and now we have 10,000 subscribers and our show's still getting 2-3 views. It's like, well, what the fuck's the point of shorts?
I don't know.
It's all good, Chris. Appreciate it. I just don't know what they
I appreciate you, Chris. Well, actually, Nikki made her first short form yesterday. She showed me it.
I'm excited to watch short form of us.
Yeah, she did it of the Blazers suck video. I need her to send me it. But she did it. She even added captions and everything.
Wow, let's go. See, those are the types of reels I like a little.
She she taught herself Premiere Pro through YouTube tutorials in a week. Yeah, she's actually pretty decent at it now. Like yesterday we were smoking a blunt and she was doing it, and like within like an hour she was done. And she's like, "Check this out." And I was just like, "Oh damn!" But I told her to redo it because she zoomed in and it was too blurry. So when it's the double setup, it's gonna be where we're both stacked on top of each other. I told her to do. So but no, like it looked really well. I'm just excited to see how it all plays out. But you had a funny line. You're in it. It's a funny line.
Oh, let's go.
It's a funny ass line and it's funny because like I told her because she was asking me like where she should clip, and I was like, just listen to it and whatever you find funny as someone who doesn't watch basketball, clip that.
True.
Because I was like, I'd rather what?
No, it's off top or it's on top. I like the idea of shorts and reels really good. I think reels of us on Instagram will be, and I hate TikTok. I really do. I don't think TikTok offers anything, but I'm open to change. But like because when I used to have clips for our podcast on Golf Ball, and it was like nice because it's like, all right, well, here's 70,000 views that now I've seen your face and know your podcast exists. Like, all right.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Well, I've been saying in my videos in the beginning, our radio show this past week again, because I usually mention it in every in most of my videos, but I've been making it an effort to do it within the first 30 seconds. And yesterday I had 2 separate comments on 2 separate videos mentioning our radio show, saying, "Oh, I never watched it," or like, "Oh, Asseo Upton, I didn't realize that was you and Will."
Yeah, I gotta start. I haven't community posted these in like 10 days. Because I worry about algorithms. My football videos they just keep popping off. I don't want it to end.
No, I completely understand.
I'll do it for tomorrow though.
Ooh.
See what happens.
I'm getting close. I should be signing my lease in Florida in like the next month.
Dude, how did you find a place?
Well, haven't yet, but I've like made a list. It's basically by April 15th is when I'm like trying to have like a place narrowed down and sign and be like signing. It's April 15th is the goal. And to sign a 1-year lease, because my first year I'll be closer to Miami, and then my second year I'll probably head closer to Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton area. But what?
Just Chris. We'll be chilling in the draft, Chris.
Is Chris the same as Rocket News?
Yeah. That's his he's got great Twitter and Instagram for Rocket content.
Really?
Fortunately, Rocket content right now is just, it's not bringing home the cheddar. I made a Rockets podcast.
You did?
Yeah.
How many listens did you get?
I don't not like 3, but I have 7 followers.
KU basketball has over 8 players enter the transfer portal. Only 4 players are returning.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Not going to be good basketball next year. That's why we're a U fan now.
Get that Florida talent going.
I'm also like, there's a part of me that I want Miami to win the Natty, but there's a small part of me that I was like, I want them to win it next year when I'm there, so I can celebrate it.
Well, either way, it's gonna help out their recruiting. What did they play tonight?
Yeah, I forgot. I think there's a name for it, but there's a name for the spike in enrollment after school wins the national championship, and it's either called the let me swear, spike in.
Yeah, when Loyola made the Final Four, we saw a huge spike in enrollment. Now it's kind of just full time. I actually wonder what Loyola is.
Well, I'm all right, right here. It's called the Flutie effect. Doug Flutie effect. The Doug Flutie effect, and it goes back to when Doug Flutie threw the game-winning Hail Mary pass in '84 against the University of Miami. Supposedly, that one play boosted almost over a 17% jump. Oh no, a 16% jump in '84 in applications, and then the following year a 12% jump. And every year they've said since that has happened, it has led to enrollment. Like Gonzaga, back every time they've gone deep or won a national championship, it's led. George Mason when they went on that run. Appalachian State when Armani Edwards was the quarterback, led to a 17% increase. Loyola Chicago increased by 4.1% when they went on that run. When Johnny Manziel led the team to a record, they increased. Florida Gulf Coast and Wichita State when both men want to run. VCU, Baylor, Auburn.
VCU, I remember that.
VCU when they went on that run with Larry Sanders.
Oh, I must be thinking. I was thinking like 2014.
Butler when they almost won the national championship with Gordon Hayward, they had 41% increase in applications.
I got into Butler. I don't know if I got in. I think I got in.
Butler's the one in Indiana, right?
Yeah, I actually don't know if I applied to Butler. I visited.
I did look at Butler as a grad program.
Good thing Good thing you didn't do that. It's a boring ass state.
Indianapolis. It's not that bad. I would retire there.
Bad.
I didn't mean it that, but yeah.
It's that bad. It's that bad.
Nah, I think
Don't
worse.
retire
Than Iowa would be worse.
You're watching too much Parks and Rec. It's not
I have
all-
started watching now, but I love Indiana. Indiana.
All right. Well,
Why
you
are there
joined
so
the-
many shows in Indiana?
Join the list of one person who loves the state of Indiana.
Pat McAfee.
Well, he's shocking. Actually.
Any closing arguments?
Where's the Pat McAfee studio?
Indianapolis.
That's wild. I did not know that. Oh my goodness.
He chose.
Wow.
He loves Indiana. I've
So
been there.
all of them live in Indiana. Holy shit.
The Middle, Parks and Rec. I'm trying to think of another
I
show.
love the Middle.
The Middle's a great show.
I loved that growing up. Yeah.
I'm watching now. Everybody Loves Raymond, which the mom from The Middle's in.
Yes, I realized it's always on before King of Queens, and I realized that actually in the last month.
And Kevin James is in Everybody Loves Raymond as like a side character.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah,
I
as
love
Ray
him.
Barone's best friend.
Wow, I did not know that.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yep.